5 things an empath needs to know about guided meditation. Are you an empath? Do you feel the feelings of others, sometimes even stronger than your own? Are you confused a lot of times on who you are and what you want? Because there's so many feelings and thoughts coming in from all directions. So guided meditation can really help an empath be able to hold on to their gifts and utilize their gifts in this world, even with all the energies coming at you from all different directions. So I have found guided meditation to be really helpful and meaningful for me. I think I listen to at least one a day from somebody. And I also create them on YouTube. You can check them out. I'll put some end tabs on this video, and they're also in the description. Various meditations that I have that will really help you. I even have one grounding for empaths. Okay, so when we're talking about the things that you need to know, the first thing is guarding your energies. So an example, one time I had a friend who was almost agoraphobic because she had trouble leaving her house and driving somewhere, because every time she would drive to an intersection and a four-way stop, she would feel a lot of anxiety and fear. And she started to realize that it was the feelings of the people around her at the four-way stop. They were all feeling, okay, is it time for me to go? I wish I didn't have to stop here. All these different thoughts and feelings going through the other people's head, to the point it was really raising her anxiety and fear energy levels. So we talked about it for quite a while. And after talking about that, we were able to help her move into a situation where she wasn't fearful and anxious every time she drove. Now, guided meditation can help a lot with this, guarding your energy. There are a lot of meditations designed specifically for that purpose, for guarding and protecting your energy. And you can work with the different guardian angels, Archangel Michael, especially there to help us as we're driving, and our protection. And there are other archangels that will, maybe Jamiel will help with you having a better relationship with those around you. So there's a lot of guided meditations that have archangels and ascended masters that come in and give added protection for your energy field. You can even do like a simple meditation before starting the day, where you place a ball of protection around you. One example that I was given that is really helpful, you step into some footprints that are golden, and as you step into those footprints, they become a pillar of light that moves through your body, and then you receive into yourself, into your solar plexus, a seed, and that seed begins to grow, and it grows into a tree of life. And that tree of life grows until it protects your entire energetic being. The advantage of having a tree protect you is that you are still able to give out to the world anything you need to give, while you are at the same time receiving from the world anything you need to receive, but not the things that do not serve you. And so just like a tree is able to filter with its environment the liquids and the gases, and to filter them into a purer state, the tree will do that for you too. So guided meditation can be really helpful in this process. The number 2 is grounding. So to me, grounding is similar, but it's different. It's always good and beneficial to go through a grounding guided meditation to teach you how to ground, to grow roots down out of the bottom of your feet into the earth and connect with the core of the earth. I always like to think of the core of the earth as being red, and it's coming up into your system and connecting with your red chakra, which is the base chakra. And so you have a connection between the earth and your body. But on top of that, you are connecting with the earth's crystalline grid, and the new grid in the 4D and the 5D has a new element to it. It's a new type of grounding. So as an empath, you have the opportunity to be part of this new type of grounding into Mother Gaia in a new energetic body. So the number 3 is open your space. So one of the things that I like to use a guided meditation for is to have myself opened. And I was going to mention a few artists on YouTube. For the first 2, protecting your energy and grounding, I like to use this lady who calls her channel Blended Insight. And she just works with music and Reiki. But that Reiki is very powerful in your life and helping you move into new aspects. So she'll have a video on protection, or she'll have a video on grounding, or a video on connecting with your higher self. So you can choose which intention you want to listen to. And then another one that I enjoy is Rachel Reiki. And she does energy activations, usually around the moon, the new moon, the full moon, and sometimes some other times as well. Her activations are very powerful, and they really help with these different aspects of how guided meditations can be helpful for an empath. So this number 3, the open body, open mind, open heart, is what Steve Noble always says. And he really has a beautiful way of utilizing the energies of the horizontal and vertical plane archangels. They come in and they connect with you, and they help you to open your space. Now, as your space opens, you remove what no longer serves you. You'll be able to bring in and receive. So one thing that I have found every time I go now to a Reiki appointment, my chakras are already opened from all of these meditations. So as an empath, I have been opened. I have been cleared. Part of the opening is clearing the things that don't serve us. So holding on to other people's emotions, we need to let go of those. Holding on to our emotions that are hurting us, we need to let go of those. So the ultra empath really has a tendency to feel a lot more feelings, sense a lot more things that are going on. And so the 4th thing is shifting into a new timeline. So I especially enjoy using Brian Scott's meditations for shifting. One job that I was at, I found that all of the employees around me didn't seem to enjoy my company. If I would go into one room for lunch, they would go into the other room. Or I'd go into a room for lunch and they'd go into the other room. And I just noticed that I wasn't ever part of the conversation. Now, the conversation was about other people in the community and gossiping. So I probably was manifesting that I wasn't part of the conversation. But I felt like, I would like this to be an opportunity where I got a little bit more socialization. And so I spoke to my higher self. And before I got up in the morning, I intended that I shift into a new timeline. And this new timeline would include the highest and best version of the people that I was around. And there was instantly a change. Those people included me in the conversation. They talked about other things. I was able on a daily basis to interact with the highest version of these individuals. And I have found that in dealing with narcissists like my mom and other friends, my kids' grandma, learning how to accept them for who they are and interacting with the highest version of themselves. And sometimes the highest version of themselves isn't very high. And part of guarding our energy, that first one, part of guarding our energy is really not spending a lot of time with people who are dragging us down and like chipping pieces off of ourselves. So you can imagine if you start your day by intending that you walk into your highest timeline, and as you do that, you place a protection barrier around yourself, and you are confident in your life, you're open-hearted, open mind, open body, all these things that these guided meditations can help you with. And yet, at the same time, you have these people coming in and picking on you and like making little holes if you're not careful. So it's very important to keep placing that protection around you as needed. So Brian Scott does a lot of work with reality shifting, reality bending, working in the multiverses. And he has some really great personal experiences in his book, and then also his meditations. So this is about guided meditation. Are really helpful for me as an empath to kind of be able to use my gifts of feeling, understanding, and intuition. Opens up my intuition a lot more. So number 5 is spiritual awakening. So guided meditation helps us with our spiritual awakening. Now, many of us can go back to a time where we can say, this was my time of awakening. There was a moment when I went from being just a dentist and a mom with a lot of anxiety and depression, trying to live my life, to somebody who had a lot of purpose and direction and is learning how to focus. It's hard to focus when you are an empath. We'll talk about that in number 6. So in number 5, what you'll find as you go through your life, the spiritual awakening continues. And so all of these people, another one I really enjoy is Jason Stevenson with his sleep meditations, and the affirmations are really helpful. So for me, guided meditation was directly related to my initial awakening. I was working in a dental clinic that I owned. I was struggling with everything, a lot of anxiety and depression. I was picking those up for my patients, but I didn't realize it. I was even able to feel an extraction coming out of, like if I took a tooth out of a patient's mouth, I could feel that probably more than most of them could. As far as, the tooth coming out, what it would, not so much like a pain, but just a sense of loss over the next few hours. So it was really hard to do oral surgery because of being an empath. And so for me, listening to guided meditations really helped with my process of spiritual awakening and going into my new life as a energy healer and tarot reader. So the sixth thing I want to talk about is focus. So I think that as an empath, it's really easy for us to not be focused. One day I was driving down the road and I saw a sign for a lawyer's office. And I thought, oh, it's so much fun to be a lawyer. It's so nice. I would enjoy that. And then a couple of miles later, I saw a massage therapist office. And I thought, oh, it's so much fun to be a massage therapist. I would really like to do that. And then I realized it wasn't that I wasn't focusing. It was that I was feeling the feelings of the people who were working there. And they were really happy. And I'm happy that those people were happy working there. But it's really hard for me to learn how to focus in on myself, my needs, my desires, my purpose. And so I think that's where this spiritual awakening and spiritual life is helping with that focus. And then another thing, this guided meditation can really help you learn to focus your mind. So if it's hard to meditate on your own, you can use the guided meditations to help you learn how to create these protections and these barriers, how to create the openness, the oneness with the universe that you're looking for, how to ground into Gaia and the new earth, and to connect with the new earth, to really be open spiritually, to shift into a new world, and to focus our energies in a very striking way, to remove all those things that are no longer part of us. So one thing I found that's really helped with focus is when I meditate, a lot of times I will stare into a candle, and it will help my mind and my heart to focus on something. So last night I was even staring into a candle as I was listening to a guided meditation, and I found that to be super helpful as an empath, because I was really able to do a high level of focus. So I highly recommend, as an empath, light worker, starseer, I highly recommend that you utilize the guided meditations that are out there for you. You'll find one or two voices and techniques that you really enjoy. So when I do guided meditations, I use theta energy healing. Theta energy healing is hypnosis without hypnosis. We still use the theta wavelength, and it has some gamma as well. So theta and gamma connecting with, as you breathe into the heart space and you connect with the heart, and you sit in the 0 point energy of all that is, that is connecting into the theta energy. And then all the work that we do in the meditation is a theta healing. So I wanted to try to explain that. As an empath, that's really valuable to be able to very quickly utilize theta energy healing to heal myself, to clear my energies, to get myself back into alignment, because it's so easy to be pushed aside by the world that is around us. So if you do work with my guided meditations on YouTube, they are filled with theta energy healing. So that is part of the journey and the process. And we can talk some more about that in the future. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to know more about theta energy healing, something that I have a certificate in, and would be happy to share more about in another video. Thanks for coming to the video. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. And if you'd like more of this content, let me know in the comments. Any questions that you have, I'd love to hear them, either about this topic, meditation with empaths, or some other topic. And I will will talk to you later.